Hey everyone, and welcome back to 6 Ashes for episode 6 of our Let's Play series. So, we are now into midsummer. We finished all the baling contract last time. It was a late night, but we're back at it this morning. So what we're going to do today, our main job for our own fields is getting some herbicide on our corn, as we've got a few weeds popped up in that, so we need to get those dealt with. We'll also try and get this area cleared, so we can look at getting our new shed built in here ahead of getting the combine. I've also taken on a couple of fertilizing contracts which will help get us the money for that as well. We won't be clearing any more trees from here for now, so we've still got a few down that far end, but I think we've more than enough space here for getting the buildings we need so far. I did mention in the last one I did come a little bit further than I said, which was to this tree. So we'll leave it at that for now, but we have got these, I think there's about 4 or 5 trees left there that we could clear in the future if we need to. Just give us that little bit more space for this farm as we try and make the most of the land. We have got one just here that needs trimming. I'll chuck that in. And cut off. So yeah, I'll finish loading this up and we'll get this up to the sawmill. I'll get this load sold and then we'll come back, we'll get the sprayer onto the Ford and then we'll go and get our herbicide on those fields. I think field 27, yeah, 27 still needs one more application of fertilizer at some point, but we can do that on the next growth stage. So that's not going to be an issue. Got plenty of time. That's the only field that needs doing. So yeah, we've probably got another 2-3 loads after this one, or what's left here. So if we can get a similar amount, like around about 3,000 per load, that's going to be another 9-10,000 for that. That will help go a long way to being able to afford the buildings. Right, so just come up to the sawmill. I will get this load all sold and we'll get the herbicide done, as that's our priority job for the day, to deal with the weeds. And then once that's done, we'll have a look at doing the fertilizing contracts just to give us a bit of extra money. And then we can look at getting the machine shed built and then the crop storage. Let's see how much money we've got left and then what we need to get for the combine. So that's another 3,294, which is not too bad. So I think in total we've made, was around 3,200 for the last load. And then I think the first load was, I can't remember, about 1,400. So that's at 7, around about 8,000 in total we've made now. Probably close to 9. So yeah, we've not done too bad so far out of a few trees. Plus we've also cleared up that space that's going to be more usable now. And we're not going to lose any of field 41. Because originally I was thinking, well, we just take some out of field 41 to put some buildings in. So this is going to help keep that field relatively intact for now. Obviously in the future, if we do expand further with the pigs, there's always a possibility. We can only hold, I think it's 300 pigs in our current pen. So if we do go really big on the pigs, we could look at getting a placeable pig pen or pig pasture, or there's like the open pig pasture mod from Foo Farmer, I think it is, that's relatively cheap, that we could look at getting in that area and like utilise that space and just put a slight fence, because it is all pretty much enclosed. So it's possibly we could do that and then increase how many pigs we can have on one time. And really go like big on the pigs. Don't often do pigs like properly. I've done pigs like on various maps, but it's always just been some pigs will throw food at them. I've never gone like full scale for pig farming. See if you can actually make a decent amount from it. So what we'll do, we'll just swing this round here, and then I'll leave this here for now, and we'll get over into the ford. So yeah, we've probably got another 2 full loads and then a few other bits and pieces left to go to get all that cleared, which we'll try and do later. But the priority is to get this herbicide on. So we are going to need to get the sprayer hooked up, which I think is full of herbicide. So we'll get the front loader dropped off. And then we need to drop off the weight off the back. Get that load down. And we'll get our sprayer hooked up. I'm not sure how much herbicide we've got left. But so we've still got 200 in the front tank. It's all connected up. So 1161 litres, which I think should be plenty. We will need to change the wheels as well. So we'll just quickly do that, which annoyingly does mean I'm going to have to reconnect everything again. We could do repairing it as well. So we want Trelleborg and then Narrows, which we've already paid for, so it should be 3. Yep. So yeah, we need to. No, I hate it when it does. I don't know why it does that. It's so annoying that it defaults some of the settings when you make changes. So it's removed our front loader and the 3-point hitch on the front. So we'll get all this hooked back up. That's it. We'll do field 41 first, as it's right here, and then we'll go and do the other 3 fields. So this won't take too long at all. And then we've got the 2 fertilizing contracts. So we've got one on field 62 and 71 we can do. There is another baling contract, but although we will obviously make quite a bit off that, I think yeah, we've done enough for that for now. So there's a few other contracts I might have a look at doing on just to give us a bit of a boost, so we can get as much money ahead of the harvest as possible. We do have all these silage bales as well, which as soon as they're fermented we'll get those sold. That'll be around probably another 15,000, which will all be very nice and handy. Okay, so last little bit on field 41, then we'll head up to the other 3 fields that need doing and get those done. And so that will be our priority job for the day done. So we'll just check we have killed off that small patch of weeds. Yeah, so that's now weed free, and we shouldn't get any further weeds come through on this field now until after it's been harvested. So we'll go and get the other 3 done, so then we'll get the sprayer dropped off, the fertilizer spreader hooked up, and then we'll go and have a look at doing those contracts. Possibly do a few more than just the 2 I've got, but I'll do most of those off camera, just to try and get enough money to cover the cost of the buildings at least, and then that will leave us with the money then for the combine, header trailer, grain trailer, baler. So yeah, we've still got quite a bit to buy, but then we'll pretty much have everything we need farm wise, and then it will all be about just adding to that and then upgrading what we have got as we go then for the future. Currently we don't have any requirement for a mower setup, but with adding the, or switching over to the farming agency edition, which we'll do after we've finished harvesting, we'll need to do clover for the pigs, so we will next year need to look at getting a mower set up for that. We'll already have the baler, and I think there is a bale wrapper available. We'll have to have a look for it, that will do the clover. I don't think we need to do clover silage for the pigs. I think it is just clover, straight up clover, which, yeah, it's not part of season, so I don't think it disappears like grass does if you leave it. So we can just do straight clover silage, clover bales. We could also look at doing clover silage, which you usually get quite a lot of from the fields, and it does sell reasonably well as well. So we definitely could look at doing that next year as an additional, because I think the bale wrapper, if it has been updated to do clover silage or wrap clover and alfalfa, then it's relatively cheap as well. So definitely something we'll look at for next year. We'll also have a look at the potatoes. I did mention in the last episode possibility if we can get a decent potato harvesting contract. One of the jobs we can then look at over winter is getting the potato washer and sorter, as that does pig food as a byproduct. Although it won't be a huge amount of pig food, it will give us some to use. Plus then we'll get the premium potatoes we can sell for a higher price. So it's definitely something we'll look at. There are quite a few fields with potatoes on, so like field 54, field 8, field 9, 16. So hopefully we can get a contract on one, preferably not probably these bigger ones, because I think they will take forever and a day to actually do. So that's field 27 done. So I'll get these next two done, so then we'll have a look at doing these fertilizing contracts. Okay, so that's all the herbicide done. We've got 102 litres left, which I presume will be what's left in the front tank. So one thing I completely forgot about was the greenhouses are here at the honey pot allotment and the manure. So we'll just check. Yeah, we are out of manure, so, and we are out of water. So we'll need to get those done. We'll need to buy another pallet of manure, as we don't have any left down here. So it's one thing we'll need to get done today. So I may just quickly get the water done so we can continue getting some profit from the greenhouses before we get the manure. And we also need to get this herbicide unloaded and get the tanks refilled with fertilizer for the contracts. Okay, so we're back at the farm. So what we'll do before we go and do these fertilizing contracts is we'll get some water into the greenhouses, and then what we'll do later is get up to the store and we'll get a few pallets of manure. I'll go back a little bit too far so we can get this hooked up. Yeah, we'll need to get it filled. So the water point on this yard is just down the back. So if we come around this way, so it's just there next to that shed. I think you possibly can use the stream down there if you can access it as well, but not 100% sure. So we get this round. I really hate reversing these really small trailers. I'll get this filled up, 2,000 litres, which will be enough to fully fill the greenhouses, and that should keep them going until the autumn. At least then we can get the money from those, because at the moment we're not making any money at all from them. Right, so let's get these filled up and then we can get on with our contracts. Now we've got tomatoes and lettuce growing again. So that's taking all that, which I think is, remember, yeah, for 100%. So it's just the manure, which we'll do a bit later today. Make sure we get that done. Let's say so busy with doing all the baling contract last time, never even thought to check on the greenhouses. So we'll get back, we'll get the fertilizer into the tanks on the sprayer. We'll probably need to go and get another IBC from the store to finish topping those up, and then we'll head up to do one of the contracts. I can't remember what field we're on, so we'll look at getting those done. So we'll just head up to the store first. We'll get another IBC of fertilizer, get the tanks fully topped up, and then we'll head up to field 71 first to get that one done. I really need to get these pallets moved as well. Just dumped them out the way in the shop. So we want a fertilizer tank. We'll just get the standard for now. I should have really bought a refillable one. So, yeah, the one they got previously disappeared. Okay, so tanks fully topped up. We'll head up to field 71 first, which is up by the other dairy farm. We'll get that one done first, and then get the next contract done, which is on field 62. There is another one on 32 that's come up now for 9,000, so we'll possibly look at doing that one. 62 is just there next to us, we're just driving past, and then 32 is field 32 is down by the bottom by Blackacres farm, so we'll look possibly doing that one as well. So if we go and do 71 first, see how much of that one we can get done. Any fertilizer that's left then we'll use on 62 as much as we can, get that one done, then refill if we need to before heading down to doing field 32, and then that will be possibly look at doing another one. If we can try and earn around about 40,000 or just over 40,000, that will pay for the buildings and that will cover the cost of that, and we'll still be left with enough money then for the combine, header and the other stuff we need. So yeah, if we can do as many contracts as possible to cover the buildings. We also need to make another loan payment before the end of midsummer, so that's going to be a further 10,000 we're going to have to pay. So field 71 is just a little bit further up. So there's the other dairy farm just there. So there's a few fields up here that are only accessible from this road, like field 73, 71, 70, 69, 67, and then the ones over the farm. As I think this is the field we want. Yeah, so this is field 71, which is a nice field of potatoes. But yeah, that's, I thought fields 8 and 9 were pretty big for potato field. 71 looks huge as well. I think if we do look for a potato contract, I think possibly 16 is the biggest I'd want to go. I think anything bigger than that and it's just going to take forever and a day to do. Right, so quickly have a look. We'll just trying to flick through these while we're doing this. So where's that one gone on 32? Has that disappeared? No, there it is. So we'll take that one on field 32 as well, and possibly look at doing some of these ones that are 6,000 each, or a couple of those as well. That should get us the money we need, so if we can get these buildings built today so they're ready for the crops for the crop storage, and then the machine shed for the combine. And again, just giving us that little bit of extra storage space for equipment. So we'll try and get that all done today, and that's all done out the way. Late summer, possibly may be able to get a harvesting contract. I'm not sure if any will come up that early, as I don't think our own fields will be ready just yet, but we'll see once we get there. Probably more like our own fields are going to be ready for early autumn, but obviously if they are ready that little bit earlier, then that will be a bonus. Okay, so we are just on our way round to do field 32, which is down by the Black Acres farm. We've done quite a few contracts, so I've got 62, 58, 71, 54 and 59 all completed. So just the one contract left we'll do today. We are coming up to 7:30 in the evening, so I'm going to get this contract finished, and then get those all completed. Then what we'll do, we'll go and rest up for the night, and then we'll come back in the morning and we'll continue getting the rest of those logs cleared up, and then try and get these two buildings built, ready for the harvest season, which will hopefully be not too far away. I think we need to go this way. Yep, I've not been down here before. I've not like drove down this way before. I've had a quick look over this way to look at the farm, but I've not actually drove down here and had a good look around. We need to go left again, and then just past the farm, and then field 32 should be down there. So yeah, I've did one extra contract. The actual shed I was looking at building is £30,000 and not 20 or 40 it was, so we do need 52,000 in total. I have probably spent around about 9,000 on fertilizer, or probably a little bit more. Okay, so we're just finishing off the last bit of field 32, which is sugar beet, and it's not easy to see when it's in the final growth stage. So 99%, so any second now we should be done. I say coming up to 9:30 in the evening, so it's taken quite a while to get all these fields done. So hopefully, either I'm completely missing what we should be doing. Yeah, I've drifted off a little bit. I say it's been so difficult. There we go, contract done. So what we'll do, we'll get these all completed. So that's 9,444.32, another 9,672.62, 5,344 for that one, 11, and then 2 at 6. So yeah, that's taken us up to 142,000. So with the buying the fertilizer, we are around about 10,000 short of where I wanted to be to get the buildings, which, yeah, there are some more fertilizing contracts we could do, but yeah, I think I've had enough of fertilizing contracts for today. So what we'll do, we'll just head back. We're going to rest up for the night, and then we'll get the rest of those logs all sold, clear that area out, and then we'll get the buildings built. Hopefully the money from the logs will cover the difference that we need for the buildings. We still also need to get some manure down to the greenhouses so we can get those topped up, and we'll also need to make the next loan payment as well before we finish up for midsummer. Good morning everybody. So we're back, last day of midsummer. So what we're going to do, say we'll finish clearing this area. I've already started loading up the trailer a little bit before we went to bed. So we'll finish getting all these logs cleared and sold, and then we'll get these two buildings done, and that will be us all done for midsummer. and then we'll be back in late summer, maybe possibly be able to do a harvesting contract. Depends, not sure what the crops are going to be like. There are some fields that have already changed to harvested, so 64, 51 and 73 and 30 and 11 have all now shown up as harvested fields. Not sure what crops they had. Well, I think that one had wheat in. Yeah, it looks like wheat in all of them. Yeah. So all of those, I didn't see any harvesting contracts, and I don't remember those fields showing on the map as being ready to harvest. Yeah, so hopefully we don't have that issue when we go to the next day and all the fields just turn to harvested, because that will be a little bit disappointing. Because I would like to try and get a harvesting contract or two if we can, especially for the crops like that we want, so canola, barley. There won't be any corn because there is no corn other than our fields growing on the map. Possibly look at sugar beet or potato contracts as well if any of those come up. Those are two things we will need for the pigs once we put the Maize Plus update to the Farming Agency edition with the changes to the pig feed requirements. So if we can try and get a potato or sugar beet contract or one of each, then we'll try and do that as well. So yeah, hopefully we're going to have a fairly busy harvesting period, and then we will look at getting crops for next year. We'll go through the crop rotation plan, see what are the best crops to follow what we've got in the ground. I think following barley, the best is probably canola. So we may put canola in the field we had barley in at least. And I think we might go and get this unloaded. I can't get the strap on that one. Yeah, we'll leave that one at that, and we'll go and get this sold. So we've probably still got another 2-3 loads. Yeah, so we'll go through the crop rotation plan, work out what's the best crops to follow the corn and the barley and canola for next year. So as we will need root crops, we may look at doing our own field of potatoes or sugar beet next year, but we'll look at that when the time comes. So we'll go and get this load sold, and then we'll come back and get some more loaded up. Right, so let's get this load sold, and then we'll get the rest of it all up here. So see how much we make for this one. So that's 3,296, so we're averaging around 3,200 per load now, which is not too bad. So if we can get another 2 at that, that will offset the difference we was a bit short of after doing the fertilizing contracts. So if we can have around about 90,000 left once we've paid off the loan and got the buildings, and that won't be too bad. And back again with the second load of the day. We do have a few bits left, but probably not as much as this, so the next load won't be quite as full, but that will be then all the wood cleared out of the way. So we'll get this sold. So yeah, a bit less for that one, 2,100, but still a fairly decent amount. So I don't imagine the next load's gonna get that much, probably about 1,500 at most. So we'll go and get that loaded up, get that sold, and then we'll get these buildings built. Okay, so final load of wood, and then that is everything sold and cleared out the way. I did find a one of these little bits of logs on the side of the track. I was driving back up here, must have come off on one of the previous loads. I hadn't even noticed. So we'll get this sold. So that's 1,304 for the final load. It takes takes us up to 148,254. So we're going to be just below 100,000. So as I said, the buildings are going to come to around 52,000, so long as there isn't too much in the way of landscaping for levelling any ground or anything like that. So we should have plenty of money left for the combine and to get a grain cart as well, and then some money towards a baler. I'm thinking for the corn header, because we will be changing to the farming agency edition, the category for the pigs for corn and is the same as barley, so we only need barley. We don't need to use corn, we can just use barley in the future. So this will probably be the only year we actually harvest corn as a corn crop. We may do corn again in the future for like maize silage to sell, but yeah, there's no point in buying the corn header if we're only going to be using it for this year. So we'll just lease one, that'll save us a bit of money on that for when we come to need it. Said yeah, corn we'll possibly look at, because maize silage does sell quite well, so we could have a look at doing some maize silage in the future, but then we'll need to obviously lease some sort of forage harvester to do that. So we'll just go and park this up out the way. I'll just leave it there for now, and then we'll get these buildings built. So it is fairly flat, it doesn't look too bad, so hopefully the ground shouldn't require too much levelling, if any at all. So if we kind of, I don't want to go too low, but kind of take it off this low point here and just level this out a little bit. And I've missed a bit of wood. Typical. Just make sure we're not making it look too bad that side. So if we try and flatten this down a bit, and we'll uncover a load of bits of logs I've missed. We'll just quickly get rid of those with a chainsaw. So whether that's stumps or some bits that are floating from underground. So really handy mod, the lumberjack mod, for getting rid of bits like this. He says, and then we have trouble getting rid of this one. Oh, still a bit left. There we go. Right, so that's pretty level. I don't think we've disturbed this side too much. Possibly dipped it down a little bit there, but we can smooth that off after if need be. And I think it has raised it up a little bit there, but once we get these buildings in, we may just take a little bit off this field once it's harvested. So first off, we're going to put the machine shed in, and the one I'm going to go for is the metal shed. Some of these sheds I've downloaded look nice, but some of them are on a fixed 90-degree angle, which yeah, completely doesn't fit in with the yard. So the one we're going to go is, if I can find, yeah, this one, metal shed, 14 by 12. So it's 30,000. So these two sheds come in a pack. I think it's pretty much called metal sheds or metal shed pack, both on Mod Hub. It does come with a, I think it's like a 5-degree rotation, which is very slow in actually rotating it fully round to get the orientation we want. I think this, having the 5-degree rotation would be handy on fences. It would make keeping fences in a straight line a hell of a lot easier, but on buildings like this I don't think you really need it. So we'll get that as fairly close to that as we can, and to the wall, which I think that looks pretty much perfect. So hope this isn't going to auto level like crazy. So yeah, I should have saved it before, but there we go. No, I don't think that's changed the land at all. So we've got enough space to get into that shed and get past it without losing any of the field. So the next building we want is the Global Company bulk material storage. Again, this is on Mod Hub. I think it's called the Global Company Maize Plus Storage Shed. Yeah, that tree is going to clip through, so we are going to have to get rid of that tree so it's not clipping through the building. Again, if we come try and level this off, difficult to see that tree in the way. I come kind of parallel to that wall if we can, and then leave a little bit of gap there, so I think that's perfect. So we go with that, and that has yeah, this is what I hate about the auto leveling on things. Why it's raised it up when I level the ground, that's so annoying. Yeah, I really hate the auto level. I wish there was a way to disable in-game the auto leveling of buildings when you come to place them. I think we'll get away with it. It's not too bad, but it has raised up the ground far more than I would have liked. I think, yeah, just inside there as well. So fortunately we've got the Global Company, although yeah, this might we might have to take that building back out. We might just about be able to get it from here. Yeah, I think the whole landscaping placeball system in 19 has been a huge improvement over 17, but it still needs quite a bit of work. An undo button is something that definitely would be beneficial, especially when you do things like this. Me tempting fate by saying whether I should save the game, and we've discovered another piece of wood. Not sure where that come from. So I think it's not ideal. I may end up taking this back out and redoing it and leveling it all off a bit better. It's going to annoy me probably. I will have to adjust the money so we're not losing out. So that's one thing I hope they do in the future game, is an undo button on the landscaping placeables. And yeah, I get the auto leveling thing. Some mods I think the auto leveling area is way too big, and some mods I don't think it's necessary to have them on at all, especially like placeable fences and things, hedges. It is rather annoying when you're trying to do it on a slope and it flattens it out, so I always remove the auto leveling in the XMLs, but having the option to switch it off in game when you're placing it would be I think a handy thing to have in the future game if possible. Okay, so yeah, I did take it back out and I've put it back in, and then just adjusted the money so we're pretty much as we were. So got a little bit smoothing off to do here, and again uncovering some more logs. I've got buried logs. So yeah, we'll get rid of this tree. I'm just going to cut this down now and I'll get this loaded up for next time, and we'll get this sold. What, don't tell me we can't cut this tree. Right, so yeah, this tree doesn't seem to want to cut at all. Okay, so the one tree I thought we'd have no problem with is the one we seem to be having an issue with. I'll have a look at that after. So this building stores pretty much everything. So we'll just back up the trailer, tip it in. You do need to unload it with a bucket. There's no like pipe to load your trailer into. So each bay holds 80,000 litres. I say it does do all standard crops, root crops, so potatoes, sugar beet, carrots, onions, It'll do all your grains, loose silage, clover silage, alfalfa silage. So it pretty much does everything. And 22,000 is not bad. Yeah, so that will be crop storage for our. So we'll put the barley, canola, and then corn in there. And once all that's harvested, we'll see what we've got. We'll do the ratio of two corn, 1 barley, 1 canola, and then we'll convert that into pig food. So when we do switch to the maize plus, we've got the pig food to use for feeding the pigs, so we're not losing out on what we are. So next thing to do, we'll just paint a little bit of ground texture just in front of here. We'll go with the rough ground. Just kind of blend that in a little bit, and then we'll just repaint the grass in this area. So tidy it up a little bit. And so once we've harvested this corn, we'll probably just take off the edge of the field, square it up a little bit, and that will give us a little bit more room to back into the shed. At the moment I don't think it's worth doing and losing that crop, although we have lost a tiny little bit of it, but not too much. So there's our new machine shed, which hopefully we should be able to fit the combine in just about. We're not going for a super massive like the new Class Lexion, or what's the Agco T8, is it T9? So that gives us a little bit more storage space. We do have these buildings here as well, which we could have tipped some crop in the ground in there, but I don't think these would have held that much. And I don't know the orientation of these, whether they're the right way around. Sometimes like manure pits and crop storage bunker silos and that don't do well if they're not on a 90-degree angle. So I think what we're going to do, I'm going to go and get some manure over to the greenhouses. I think we'll leave it there for now, and then we'll be back in late summer. We'll see what there is to do, whether there's any harvesting jobs to do or anything like that. So before we do go, we just need to remember to pay the next instalment of the loan. So that's 450,000 left to pay. The good thing is every time we do pay a little bit off, it does reduce the loan interest as well. So we're left with 83,000 for getting our next lot of equipment, and a few little bits of wood we can sell, although they've stuck underground. That might spawn above ground when we reload the game. So hope you have enjoyed this episode. If you have, then please don't forget to give it a like. If you've not yet subscribed, then please do consider subscribing. We've got Farming Simulator 19 videos every day. Thank you very, very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you again. Goodbye.